Welcome back to the Buddha's Boys YouTube channel. It's your boy Stufius, back with a game of Age of Empires 2. Well, this is my first Nomad ever ranked game, and I picked the Japanese playing against the Malay. So, I actually never played Nomad ranked. This is my first ever game, and let's see how it goes. So, back in the game, just want to mention this thing. When the game started, I actually got the outline of his TC, so I knew where he placed his TC or the rough position of the TC. And I decided to play the game as best I could. I picked the Japanese. I would have picked them anyway. I favorited Arabia, but got Nomad. Hey, such is life. When it comes to the Nomad gameplay, as far as I know, there's literally only one strategy, and that's fast castle. I don't know if feudal aggression, if in any form, works on Nomad. I guess there's fast imperial, but fast imperial is fast castle with additional steps. So once again, you're stuck with a fast castle strategy. So here's what my knowledge of the Nomad gameplay comes. You have to build a TC on a wood line, so you have wood to go for ships, because on Nomad the primary food resource, at least early game, are the ships. And the villager that's closest to the edge of the map goes to build a dock and a house, and he goes for shorefish. And you go for a fast castle approach. That's my knowledge of Nomad gameplay. That's all I know, or all I knew going into this game. I expected no feudal aggression whatsoever, and I expected both players to go for a fast castle approach. I know where his TC is because of the outline and start of the game, and I would have picked the Japanese regardless, though that's the civ that I'm currently trying to better myself at playing, at least in ranked. And prior to the game starting, I actually had to read what kind of bonuses they have for water maps. I actually had to read that their fishing ships work 5%, 10%, 15%, and 20% faster in each age. I did not know that prior to this game. Obviously, I never needed to know, because I tried to play Arabia as much as possible, and that kind of information is completely useless on Arabia. I was very nervous about this game. Throughout the early game, I saw my score. As you can see, I'm already behind score. I don't know why. I wish we can... I guess scouting? Let's say that's the reason. Anyway, going back to my point of view, I only managed to find the single boar that I had at the initial board that I had, and I immediately built. I played horribly, by the way. Just want to say that I don't know Nomad, never played it prior to this. This was a horrible game, a bad game. Let's not go overboard. A bad game on my behalf. I did not have any food besides that initial boar. It wasn't even a boar. It was a sheep variation for this map. And apart from getting like the first 5 on food, 6 if you include this shore villager, my plan was to go for fishing ships as food income, and the rest of the new villagers to go on wood. Now, I don't know whether this is a mistake on my end or whether the game is bugging, but when I clicked on the dock and clicked Q, it did not produce fishing ships. At least not in Feudal. In Feudal, it started producing demolition ships. So in Feudal, I was like, I clicked on the dock, I looked at what the Q button produces, and it clearly said that the fishing ship, this thing right here, is produced by pressing the letter Q. Yet, when I actually played the game in Feudal Age, when I pressed the Q after clicking on the dock, it started to create a demolition ship. I don't know. So, early game, I knew I wanted to just go for a fast castle. I expected my opponent to do the same thing. Already have a lot of idle time for this early in the game. and I am panicking. Luckily, I found some chicken here, or rabbits, and I put the mill down. Thankfully, I'm Japanese, so I can at least save a bit of resources on mills and lumber camps. One villager is producing houses, and I guess I have no idea how bad of a gameplay this is on an actual from someone. I can imagine someone who actually knows how to play Nomad is now screaming at me to fix about 1,000 different mistakes that I'm making. But I noticed these guys, Mufflon, and luckily, like I said, I have a mill that's cheap and a mining camp that's cheap. So I sent these 4 villagers to gather the 2 or 3 Mufflon, whatever, and 2 villas to gather the gold, so I can go to Castle Age eventually. I was not really planning on going to Castle Age or clicking up to Feudal in the near future. I was still like waiting on the res. My ship production was probably quite bad. Looking at the res collection, the fact that my opponent has both more villagers and fishing ships. Obviously, I didn't know that at the start while playing the game. All I saw was the big score difference. That, yeah, I guess this was the score difference. 2 docks, and I guess scouting with this pig is what resulted in the score difference. Obviously, I did not have the benefit of doing that while playing the game. My entire plan for this game, actually one of my colleagues watched the game while I was playing. I was panicking. I was like, oh, I might as well surrender. I mean, the score difference is too big already. I don't know how to play this map. I assume he picked this map. Plus, he picked Malay, so he must know what he's doing. I never play this map. I might as well just surrender and move on to hopefully the next game where I'll hopefully get Arabia. But I gave it a try. My entire plan was a fast castle into a castle. My limited experience of watching Nomad gameplay is basically fast castle into castle drop, and whoever does it better and or first, I should say, or first and or better, basically wins the game. It's my knowledge of it. It's a very repetitive gameplay, but I might be wrong. Limited experience. 99% of my experience with Nomad is watching Nomad games. Not something I want to play, to be perfectly honest. So I decided to pull the 2 villagers off of gold because I had enough gold to click to Castle Age. What I lacked was the food, but I was building a 3rd dock, trying to fish boom as much as possible. As you can see, I'm doing a bad job compared to my opponent. The rest collection is obviously still there, not as big I think, but yeah, still big. The idle time obviously didn't help. And I was trying as much as possible, and I also lost a villager here because no loom. Yeah, that's completely my mistake, but completely avoidable mistake, but still. I was quite happy with the timing. Like, fast castle is not something I do. It's really a strategy that I avoid at all costs. I don't play the maps that favor such a strategy. It's not a strategy I enjoy. But on this map, like I said, my experience tells me that that's the only strategy that works. With the only other exception being Fast Imperial, which is just a stylized version of starting with a fast castle. I guess the fast castle into a 2 TC boom into a fast imp. But again, that starts with a fast castle. So here's the mistake I was talking about. Unfortunately, I did not catch it. But I had a demo ship queued in and not enough gold. So when I played this game, I was like, okay, perfect. I have enough food. I build the 2 requirement buildings, the blacksmith and the market. All good. I'm clicking up to castle. And then I was like, wait, I did not click up to castle. Why not? Why don't I have enough gold? I had 210 gold. And then I realized that in Feudal Age, when I click on a dock and click Q, even though it says it would produce a fishing ship, it actually queued in a demolition ship. And I did that, I think, through 2, if not 3 of my docks. So I quickly had to cancel the demolition ship so I can actually get back the gold and produce or start researching the Castle Age. And I immediately sent a bunch of villagers on stone because, like I said, the only gameplay on this map that I know of that I think actually works is fast castle into a castle drop. I was hoping my opponent was doing the same thing because I knew that if he goes for fast castle into a castle, he has to go for a unique unit. And his unique unit dies horribly to my unique unit. Hence why I did my best to actually gather enough stone. And let's see. So I know the rough position where he is, and he knows where I am, thanks to that little pig that scouted me. And I was very pleasantly surprised that I was able to reach Castle Age basically at the same time. Like, obviously he has an eco advantage. He did the whole fish boom, or boom in general, better than me. I had more idle time. But I was still, nonetheless, I was quite surprised. And I was very surprised that I was able to collect enough stone for a castle before he got his castle up. It's not an ideal timing for me, but it's good enough. Because that was my main worry. I was 100%, okay, not 100%, but I was certain that he was gonna go for a fast castle into a unique unit. That, like I said, based on what I have seen in my viewing experience, that's the only strategy that exists on this map. And I researched fletching. I put the castle right outside of his range of his castle, and I researched fletching so I can target his castle. And I immediately went for the siege workshop. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do the thing that a Japanese player or guy playing the Japanese Civ did to me once on Arabia, and that's Rams plus Samurai unique unit. I know that he has to go for, almost has to go for his unique unit, and his unique unit dies horribly to the Samurai unique unit that I have. For those that don't know, the Samurai unique unit deals, I think, 10 bonus damage to other unique units, so my unique unit will just eat him up. The problem is that he kind of cut me off of stone. Thankfully, not before I was able to get the first castle up. I sent one villager to scout because I was afraid that he was gonna get to this gold, and this was not enough gold for the production I wanted to have. I wanted samurai and battering rams. I assumed that this game would not go to Imperial, and I assumed he was gonna go for a unique unit. And I thankfully did find the extra gold and sent a bunch of villagers. So this time I'm trying to get some upgrades, primarily for my infantry, before he destroys his blacksmith, while I'm also preparing the battering rams and the samurai, so I can hopefully rush his castle. That was my plan while viewing this. The fish boom, if you can call it a boom, was there. I expected... okay, I actually created a fire galley. Yeah. I wanted to wait for at least like 5, preferably 5 or 6 battering ram before I go in. I knew I was gonna win this battle as is, but I still wanted to push him back further. I was certain that I was economically behind, which, as you can see, I was both on land and on sea. He did a fish boom, or a boom in general, better than I did, so I knew I was kind of on a timer, that I had to react and go in and hopefully, you know, do damage on land, because I don't know how to play water. Like, I know the general counter, like fire ship counters galleys, right? Yeah, fire ship counter galleys, Hulk counters everything. I don't know. And then I saw his rams, and I immediately sent out my rams, 5 rams, and the samurai that I kept inside. obviously that also aided with the firing at the castle, and I was very happy about that. I knew that we're going for the same strategy, but I simply have a unit that his current strategy does not beat. And I decided to do the same strategy that I lost to a guy in Arabia, Rams plus Samurai. Decided to do against this guy because the Samurai will just eat the Karambit warriors due to the bonus damage. And I can also get him in the Ram and use them as a little Taxi, as they call it. Thankfully it's not a siege tower, it's only a battering ram, so it's not as degenerate. But on to the next castle while I'm doing my best to expand. No additional TCs, I was fully focused on land. I saw his hulks, I was like, yep, I'm gonna lose all the water, all the fishing ships. It doesn't matter. If I win land, that's it, I win the game. At this point, blood was rushing through my veins, and I was like, okay, I can actually win. I did not know what kind of position he was at this stage of the game, but destroying 2 castles is big. It finally frees up my main stone, so I can mine and go for maybe an additional castle. And I decided, you know what? I know based on prior scouting where his the original TC is, and I decided, let's just go. I have the momentum. Oh, when I saw this was a beautiful scene. Like going in with Samurai to kill Vils. There's nothing quite like it, if I'm being perfectly honest. And then I saw another castle. Wow, that's a 3rd castle. But yeah, at this point I got the momentum. Whether it was by element of surprise or simply just having... Both of us went for the same strategy, though he did boom quite a lot better than I did. Both primarily on land, but also on sea. But what difference was, I think, that I went 1 TC all in on land, and that's what made the difference in this game. Spoiler alert. So I was just producing Samurai from 1 castle and battering ram for 1 siege workshop, and just went in and did not ask any questions. I guess he seems like to have completely lacked the military at this stage. Maybe he went too big of a boom. Maybe I was lucky with the surprise. Maybe a combination of different things. But yeah, when this was going on, I was not expecting to win this game from the start. Like I said, I thought I lost. The fact that I won is very nice. So yeah, this was my first ever Nomad game on the rank ladder versus a guy who actually Nomad is his most played game or most played map in the 1v1 rank ladder. So this win is that much more impressive for me. Yeah, fun game, though I stand by my opinion that I do not want to play this game. It's all about Arabia for me. This is way too one-dimensional. Like I said, I might be wrong, and I know that there'll be people who disagree, but for me, this map has one single strategy, and that's it. Fast castle into castle drop. That part of the game, I feel like I did better. And also the fact that I had a Civ that simply has a unique unit that completely shuts down his play into a castle drop into a unique unit obviously helped me immensely in this game, and it was probably the main reason I won, I would say. But yeah, that was it for today. I hope I never get to play this map again. If I do, it's going to be the same strategy as this game. I don't see anyone going for feudal aggression on this map. It's all about those castle drops as far as I can see. Anyway, that would be it for today. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment. Let me know how many mistakes I made in this game while playing Nomad, or if you have any suggestions or anything like that. Thank you in advance, and see you in the next one.